Banking Law and Practice. Chapter 4, Negotiable Instruments. Part 3 of 3. Endorsement. Meaning. Endorsement is the process of signing the back of a negotiable instrument to transfer its ownership and legal rights from one person to another. The word endorsement comes from Latin en, means upon, and dorsum, means the back. Together they refer to the act of signing on the back of the instrument. When a pay endorses a check, they transfer their right to receive payment to another person. The person signing is the endorser and the person receiving is the endorsee. Example, Ria receives a check in her name. She signs the back and writes, pay to Suresh. She has endorsed the check and Suresh now becomes the new pay. What endorsement reveals? Good title. By endorsing, the endorser confirms they have a valid and clean title to the instrument at the time of endorsement. Genuine contents. The endorser guarantees that the contents of the instrument are genuine and have not been tampered with or altered. Prior endorsements valid. The current endorser also confirms that all previous endorsements on the instrument are genuine and legally proper. Payment liability. The endorser takes responsibility for paying the instrument to the endorsee if it is dishonored and proper notice is given. Right to further endorse. By endorsing, the endorser also gives the endorsee the right to further negotiate the instrument to another party. Essentials of a valid endorsement. Written on instrument. The endorsement must be on the instrument itself or on an allonge and attached slip. A simple signature of the endorser is sufficient. Entire instrument only. A partial endorsement that transfers only part of the amount is not valid for negotiation. The entire amount must be transferred. All joint payees must sign. If the instrument is payable to two or more payees jointly, all must endorse it unless one is authorized to sign for the others. Misspelled name. If the payee's name is misspelt, they must sign in the same incorrect spelling first and may then add their correct signature. Order of endorsements. When two or more endorsements exist, each is taken to have been made in the order it appears on the instrument. Types allowed. An endorsement may be blank, special, restrictive, or conditional. Each type carries different legal effects on the instrument. Types of endorsement overview. Blank, general. The endorser only signs without naming any endorsee. The instrument becomes a bearer instrument and can pass by mere delivery. Special, full. The endorser signs and names the endorsee, e.g., pay to A or A's order. Only the named person can further negotiate it. Partial, transfers only a part of the amount payable. This is not valid for negotiation under Section 56 of the NI Act. Restrictive, contains words that stop further negotiation, e.g., pay to C only. The endorsee gets all rights except the right to endorse further. Conditional, the endorser adds a condition to their liability, e.g., pay to A sans recourse. Also known as qualified endorsement. Blank and special endorsement. Blank endorsement, the endorser only signs without naming an endorsee. The instrument immediately becomes a bearer instrument transferable by delivery. Effect of blank endorsement. A check endorsed in blank can be transferred by mere delivery. It is treated the same as a check originally payable to bearer. Special, full, endorsement contains both the endorser's signature and the endorsee's name, e.g., pay to Ramesh or order. Only Ramesh can negotiate it further. Converting blank to special. Any holder can convert a blank endorsement to special by writing the name of an endorsee above the endorser's existing signature. Once a bearer, always a bearer under Sector 85(2) of the NI Act. If a check is originally payable to bearer, the bank can pay the bearer regardless of any later endorsements. Partial and restrictive endorsement. Partial endorsement, Sector 56. An endorsement that transfers only part of the amount payable on the instrument. This is not valid for the purpose of negotiation. Example, partial. A holds a check for 1,000 Indian rupees and writes, pay to B or order 500 Indian rupees. This is a partial endorsement and is invalid for negotiation. Restrictive endorsement. An endorsement that stops or restricts further transfer of the instrument, e.g., pay C for my use, pay C for A's account. Rights of the endorsee. Under a restrictive endorsement, the endorsee acquires all rights of the endorser except the right to negotiate the instrument further. Common examples: pay C pay C for my use, and pay C for the account of B are all classic examples of restrictive endorsements. Conditional/qualified endorsement. Sans recourse. The endorser excludes their own liability, e.g., pay to a sans recourse. If dishonored, the endorsee cannot claim payment from this endorser. Facultative. The endorser gives up a right, such as waiving the notice of dishonor, e.g., pay a or order notice of dishonor waived. Sans phrase means without expense. The endorser agrees to pay only the instrument amount and not any protest or collection charges. Contingency-based liability depends on a future event, e.g., pay A on his marriage with B. Liability ends automatically if the event becomes impossible. For pro-endorsement, the instrument is signed by an authorized agent on the payee's behalf. The bank must be informed in advance about such an arrangement. Endorsement versus assignment. Governing law. Endorsement is governed by the NI Act, 1881. Assignment is governed by the Transfer of Property Act, 1882. Method of transfer. Endorsement is done by signing the instrument. Assignment requires a separate written document duly signed by the transferor. Title of transferee. An endorsee gets the rights of a holder in due course, a good title even if the endorser had defects. An assignee only gets what the assignor had. Consideration. In endorsement, consideration is presumed by law and need not be proved. In assignment, consideration must be established separately. Liability after transfer. The endorser remains secondarily liable if the instrument is dishonored. In assignment, the assignor's liability ends once the transfer is complete. Proper endorsement. Special categories. Minor. A minor can draw, endorse, deliver, and negotiate under Sector 26. However, the minor incurs no personal liability when they endorse an instrument. Firm. Must include the full name of the firm and the signature of an authorized partner. Writing for firm name with a partner's signature is valid. Company. Must carry the signature of an authorized person, e.g., MD or finance officer, along with the company's official seal and their name. Women. A woman's endorsement should use her personal name and surname only. Prefixes like Mrs. or Miss must be avoided. Her maiden name must come first. Illiterate person. An illiterate person endorses by using their left thumb mark, LTM. A witness with a known address must attest the endorsement properly. Liability of endorser. Triggered by dishonor. The endorser's liability arises only after the instrument is dishonored and proper notice of dishonor is given to that endorser. Death of endorser. If an endorser dies, their legal heirs inherit the liability to pay the value of the instrument until it is fully settled. Sans recourse. If the endorser writes sans recourse, they are completely free from any liability on the instrument regardless of dishonor. Order of liability. When multiple endorsements exist, each endorser is liable in the order their signature appears on the instrument. Ceases on full payment. The endorser's liability ends automatically once the instrument is paid in full in due course to the correct party. Effects, cancellation, and negotiation back. Transfer of property. Endorsement transfers full ownership of the instrument from the endorser to the endorsee along with all legal rights attached. Right to sue. The endorsee gets the right to sue all prior parties, drawer, acceptor, etc., in their own name for non-payment of the instrument. Cancellation of endorsement. If a holder cancels an endorsement without the endorser's consent, the endorser is discharged from liability to that extent. Negotiation back. When an endorsee receives the same instrument back in their own right, they cannot sue intermediate parties to whom they were previously liable. Right to further endorse. Unless the endorsement is restrictive, the endorsee has the right to further negotiate the instrument to yet another party. Chapter 4 complete. Next, Chapter 5, Skill Development. Like, subscribe, share with your classmates.